Welcome everyone to the Your Little Castle Show. We're always looking for those leaders who are impacting the community, those who are continuing to grow. You guys are on a growth pattern here. It looks like you guys all over the country and are now a part of our community here, obviously expanding and growing all across the country. We're excited to have you guys come share with us a little bit what you've been doing here in St. Louis for quite a while now and what you continue to do around the country. But as a center for some crazy weather, how often do we have issues, if you will, in this part of the region where you either get a tornado or you get hail or you get major wind and sometimes crazy rain, but you want somebody that can help put things back to the way they were, right? Mm-hmm. So with that, we've got DHI Roofing in the building here with us today. And to my immediate right, to the left there in the center spot, you can see we've got Greg Sanders. He's the general manager here, covering the St. Louis metro area and expanding. How far does your region go?
St. Charles County, Southern Illinois, St. Louis County.
Okay. Yeah. And the CEO is in the building too. Say hi to Dustin Dahl. Dustin, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, well, I want to give a shout out real quickly to our sponsors. A lot of people do understand these things you got to get everything paid for, right? Everything costs a little bit to put together. We put together a nice studio. I appreciate you guys coming here and joining us here. Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle that might have been put back together or enhanced or made improvements on by DHI. And so they do some great work here and maybe work together with Brooke. They got to put that furniture in a nice place, right? Because you like nice things in your little castle. So we've got the Brooke like that. I said, in your little castle, right? Everybody's got their little castle. So with that, let's get started here. Tell me the little bit of the path that got everyone here. And I'm going to start off with you, Greg. Tell me, what is it that really led you to where you wanted to, this is the path you wanted to take to help make a little impact on our planet here?
So yeah, I got into the industry mainly because I had some friends, I had some acquaintances that had jumped over into roofing sales and worked under Dustin and a few other colleagues that I had worked with, and they were getting really good results and having really good success. So a lot more than I was at that time. So I jumped on board. And I've been here ever since.
Yeah, it's a great place to be because, I mean, who doesn't need a place to live? And like we talked about to start off the show, there's stuff that happens to houses in the Midwest. And I guess it's kind of true across the country, but it's crazy stuff that happens around here. Mm-hmm. And so that leads to you, Dustin. Tell me, being the CEO, what is it like running a company like this?
Yeah, it's really great. You know, I've always enjoyed, what I've always enjoyed about this industry and doing this is we are doing something good that people need, and it provides, it's very stable, it's very recession proof because everybody has insurance, weather happens, so helping people take care of their homes feels good to do that. The insurance company pays for the work the majority of the time, so it's good for the homeowner. They're getting something they're already paying for, and we've created a great culture and environment where people can, our mission statement is to create remarkable experiences, building lives and rebuilding properties. So it's a fun thing to be able to do, to be able to blend those things and make a real difference and provide real value on both ends of that spectrum. So
yeah, and that's like we keep emphasizing here. It is key in this region. People talk about that. I'm a little bit of a math guy. You can't help but in being in business to have a little bit of a math background. But the truth is, people are paying $3,000 and $4,000 a year for their insurance, and then somebody's like, well, I don't know, I'm afraid to make a claim. Well, why have you been paying your insurance for that? Your neighbors have gotten some work done, and they had to come in and fix that stuff. These are things that people need to contemplate, and especially if they don't get it done, and then they got to go back and do it later. They say, oh, now it's not covered. Yeah, people should call experts. DHI can come in and say, here's what needs to be done. Let's make sure, and you'll give that fair evaluation to say, yes, definitely. Or would you say it's a better idea to call you guys before you call the insurance company?
Oh, absolutely.
And why would you say that is true the case?
So I'd probably say one of the number one mistakes homeowners make is, I hate to say it, but there's a level of trust that they give to their insurance company. You know, that they're not going to make mistakes, that they're going to be accurate. And the reality is it's not necessarily the case, you know. So having someone who understands what is damaged and how it should be paid and how it should be covered is super important to have that person backing that homeowner to make sure that things get handled correctly.
Dustin, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I would say, you know, we just have a perfectly aligned vested interest with a homeowner. If it has damage that's adequate, then fine. Then we understand how to document it, help them through that process because it can be complex. If it doesn't, on the other hand, and we know it won't get approved, no reason to make a claim, no reason to go through that hassle or get a claim on your record. So we have a vested interest because we don't take any money up front, we don't charge for inspections, so we have a truly aligned interest with a homeowner. So it's definitely best to just call us, have one of our reps come out, do a quick check, give you a quick inspection and report, and just go from there, see what happens. So.
Yeah, that's why I say it's better to have you guys come inspect this before you make a claim,
That's right.
because if you get that reputation with your insurance company for continuing to make claims that aren't worthy, they count that against you too, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And you don't end up in a situation like that. Well, tell me a little bit as we continue here, learn a little bit more about you guys. What was the turning point, Greg? Tell me, what was the turning point in your life to kind of put you on the direction where you're at right now?
Marriage.
I saw your note here. I was like, that's a key event for a lot of people. Tell us more why.
I would say anybody who has met me or knew me prior to marriage will say that I've matured, things that I changed as an individual. My wife did good things to me, I guess. But I was just more driven and more focused on taking care of a group than just an individual person.
Okay, yeah, that's a big one. Like I say, I personally have not experienced that. I've been engaged a couple times, but I have a couple of very strong women that I've dated for a long period of time, and that were impactful in my life. My mom was very impactful. These women in our lives really they make a stable environment, right? And so it helps. That's what you feel is something that's really finding a stable partner. Sure. I could say that makes life a lot easier if you can find somebody that really can help support and make it happen. Dustin, tell me, it may not be marriage, and that's a unique answer we get there. I appreciate that. What would you say in your life that led you to where you're at here?
You know, I being in sales, being in business, and a lot of times people when there's opportunity, a lot of times there's opportunity for people to be taken advantage of. And that happened to me as well. So being a hardworking college athlete, very competitive, got into situations where I would have great ability to earn, but then people wouldn't follow through on what they said, and really wanted to create an environment for people like me where they could have a trusted environment where they could have great opportunity to build their life and build an income while meeting real needs, not having to try to peddle something that people maybe don't really need. And so really that was the motivation behind it, is just create a safe place that was focused on creating, because if we take care of the teammates, my strategy and philosophy has been, we just take care of our teammates and we find good people, we take care of them, then they take great care of the customers, and that's a great way to sustainably grow long term.
That's a good one. I'm breaking out the pencil for that one. I have my super duper pencil here, and I just don't know that I recall hearing that one before. But yeah, if you take care of the people that are working for you, they will take care of the company, therefore take care of the clients and the customers, and make sure that everybody then ends up happy. And take that note, everybody. Write that one down. Take care of your employees, which you guys do a great job of. And you guys are expanding here. I know you've got some room for bringing on some more help, I think, in the area especially. So that great advice there. I think that's important, because a lot of people, we almost get to where we take for granted, right? Some of the stuff. They're going to do the job because we pay them.
Yep.
No, we treat them with respect. There's a lot to be said for just giving somebody respect and kudos and just, hey, you're doing a good job kind of thing. I recently ran into my assistant, Dawn. I said, Dawn, you're doing a great job. But you got to say those things sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
That's important. I like that answer. Good. Is there a personal hobby that you think led you here? Well, I'm going to start off with you on this one, Dustin. And you mentioned some sports there. Is that any sports background? Did you play college sports, obviously?
Yep. Played at Central Missouri State University, University of Central Missouri football there. And yeah, I think what led me into business was competitive background where I always liked meritocracy or coaches or opportunities where if I worked the hardest and did what I was supposed to, I got the opportunity. And so that's really what attracted me into business was opportunity, especially with a little bit on the sales and customer service type of thing. Sometimes there's opportunities to earn more if you do better. Right. And so we always try to set those things up. So that's kind of what got me I came from a very small town of 500 people, so wasn't exposed to business much.
Right.
So I thought business was just climbing a corporate ladder and stepping on people. But then I got exposed to some good businesses. Right. And then that's kind of what got me interested. Is I like the idea of, being able to go compete, being able to go and earn based on my effort, and having an unlimited opportunity. And that's what got me into it. and that's the environment we try to create, and that's the type of people that I think really enjoy it, is people that want autonomy and opportunity, but inside of a safe framework with people they can count on to follow through on their end. So.
Okay, and it might have led then to why you've hired hardworking, ambitious types like Greg here.
That's right.
And so, Greg, is there a hobby or anything? What kind of developed the desire in you that you wanted to be successful, and where did you kind of develop that attitude towards life?
I mean, probably just growing up around a blue-collar father who just worked really hard, and the work ethic from that. And my mom was in corporate America, and she worked, they both made sure that my sister and I had a good upbringing, right? So the work ethic is 100%, from the family. And I'm just a competitive dude myself. So, I mean, I've been playing sports my whole life. I played involved in the St. Louis baseball, leagues and associations growing up. And I went to Chaminade and played baseball and football there, and played some college football at TCU, as well. So I like to compete, and finding something that allows me to still compete and not bang my head against somebody is pretty sweet.
I'll interlude here. Is that the correct? But let's a little discussion, if you don't mind, because I think sports, we talked a little bit about it, and it's interesting. We've gotten so far into the show by now, and Dawn does so much of the front work. We don't the whole impetus behind what started this, but it was my sports background, I think, that helped me get through a coma that I sustained. We don't often talk about in the preliminary discussions, but the sports background, I think, got me through that. But both of you guys come from pretty extensive sports background. TCU and Chaminade, I mean, were you a predominant athlete in the area at the time? Obviously, TCU, good school.
I think so.
Baseball and football. I mean, at Chaminade, that gives you some of that drive, some of that. Is the hair standing up on my arms? It's kind of exciting to see that this is the stuff that helps people. Sports, I believe, gives people a lot of the tools that they need to learn so they can develop and to be the kind of people that we need that make a difference and understand, like you were talking about, Dustin. We want people that appreciate, that work hard, that contribute, not just step on each other like they do in the corporate. I've been in the corporate environment, did that for 10 years, 12 years, and it just kind of seems like you're just kind of throwing in the mix there. So both of you guys are here now in a not necessarily you're a corporation by trade or an LLC, et cetera, but you're not like these big 20,000 employees where you've got a lot of people that you just don't even know who you're working with. You guys get to kind of work with the people in your group and know who they are, and come in to do nice videos and say, hey, learn about us and see what we've got. Dustin, tell me, why is that important for the way you run your company?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, team sports, if you're out there and you are someone who grew up playing team sports, you can see in us and Greg, I played fullback in college. Greg played fullback in college. Until I met Greg, I thought I was a fullback. And then when I met Greg, I was like, oh, he's a real fullback.
He's a real fullback.
That's what the real fullbacks look like.
Right.
But it is, that team atmosphere, the understanding of, it takes all of us as opposed to just me on my own, I think does really lend itself towards healthy team environments in a working environment as well. And that's kind of how we operate, is just we understand, I think pretty well at least, or at least that's our focus and that's our aim, is to really take time to coach well, to give feedback, to give people opportunity. The people who work hard, put the effort in, get the opportunities, those type of things. So,
and then likewise, I throw it over to you, Greg. Is that the case? I mean, does this kind of exude, helps you run a crew and develop and make sure everything is
I mean, the correlation from sports to business.
Yeah, just how those tie together and where you've
all the things that Dustin just said. I mean, whether I've been a captain on a team or not, but you have to work cohesively as a one large mechanism going towards one big goal. So I don't think there's a better level of exposure to that than sports. I mean, sports does so much for you on a business level, whether it be understanding, long-term gratification, working hard for something early, and delayed gratification, getting that result down at the end, whether it be practicing in 2 days to win the state championship, 18 or 20 weeks later, whether it be just getting through tough situations, and fighting through, learning, getting feedback, being coachable, taking feedback the right way. Like, those are the only ways you're really going to grow and get better, like, as a human, and that exposure is huge to to anybody who's involved in the athletic world, I think.
Well, yeah, and isn't that the case? I mean, so many people, they say that the most they learned was from when something didn't go right. But they got to, if you're not willing to listen to the feedback, and it's hard sometimes to say, oh, this is where you messed up. I'll never forget, I walked on the set live during a show for Channel 2 when I was an intern there, and they made me go back and watch myself come on set. They said, you got to take your medicine up. And I was like, but he told me to come on and tell him in his ear. He's like, you should have known that meant the wireless into his ear, to the microphone, not to like literally go up and talk to him.
You're not telling him the secret.
In his ear. So, but it was a last minute score and they needed the update. And I thought, of course, but I saw the on air sign. We got one here too. And I just went in because that's what I thought though. But hey, it was interesting because Mandy Murphy and everybody, they're going, get down.
Yeah.
So break dancing on the ground. Hey. But I'll never forget it, obviously, those things. But I learned from that, right? Those are the things you have to pay attention to in life. Interesting. Good stuff, guys. A little bit about, tell me some of the reviews you've got. I've looked up some of what you've got. You guys are A+ rated. I'm going to put that up on the wall for everybody to see if that's okay. Is that right? Is that you guys right there? Yeah. And is being A+ rated adds a lot of credibility. It's saying a long time in business here, since 19 years. Is that right? Mm-hmm. And so, what does it mean to earn those accreditations and to be somebody that the community knows they can stand by and do a good job? To make sure that they are being represented and taken care of properly in the community, to do what's best to make sure that everything gets done right.
Yeah, man. I think it's important. One, that an organization like the Better Business Bureau has us rated at such a high level, because it's one of the first things that people go to when they want to see, how do people feel about this company? Are there bad things that are said about them, right? So just having them back us up, I think is huge. It's the number one thing customers look at. So we love that we have a strong rating in it.
Yeah. Well, and again, the people that are making the difference and putting the work out there, I'm going to show this on the wall if that's all right for you guys. Mm-hmm. But there it is. There's that BBB, A+. And obviously you've earned that, and so there's a lot to be said for that. BBB, a lot of people do obviously trust the BBB, and to get that A+ is not handed out lightly. And so it's good to see you guys have put the work in to make it clear that you guys are here to represent and do the work fine to help people too. So good work there, guys. Tell me then, I mean, there's a lot that goes into developing a business, but what is it about your business that really fuels your passion? What is it that makes you wake up every day and say, this is what I want to do? And why is it where you're at that you get to do that? Dustin, I'll start off with you on that.
Yeah, I think it is, this is a sports-oriented show, so I'll go there first. It is fun. I've always enjoyed being on team sports. I enjoy being with people. I also, because of my personal experience of people not following through on things or making promises and not doing them, it's really fun. I take a lot of pride in creating an environment where customers can trust that, just like maintaining an A+ for that many years, and it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be pretty diligent, and doing the same thing, building a culture for guys like Greg that can come in and partner and build their life and build a livelihood inside of an organization, even really without having background or experience in this field. It is very rewarding. We do a lot of culture-oriented things. We have banquets where we'll have one of our most recent ones, a couple hundred people at a banquet, 4-hour-long, trophies, awards. I mean, we really do a lot. Even vacation together, take vacations. My wife and I and everybody and their wives and spouses and husbands, we all go on vacation together. So it's an enjoyable culture. We're not just working together. I mean, we get to know each other, we become friends, we're doing life together, and it goes a little bit deeper. So I think it's just doing life as a team sport, and it's a great industry because, again, it's recession proof. It is something that people already need. There's an abundance of opportunity. So those are some of the reasons, and it takes care of my family well, and it's a win-win-win scenario. There's an ability for me to take care of my family well. And if I just help Greg take care of his family and any other teammates take care of their family, by virtue of that, it takes care of my family. So it creates a win-win-win scenario. That's what I like most about it.
Okay, and you got another one there. I got to grab from you. Life as a team sport. There is nobody on this planet who ever made it all on their own, right?
No.
There's somebody along the way that and likely hundreds of people along the way, and little pieces here and there. And some
That's
people
right.
you get to work with more directly, more often. That's where you want to develop the kind of team you guys are talking about. Because these are people that you like, you're going to wake up, there's the argument people make, you see the people you work with more than you see your spouse sometimes, right?
Yeah.
You may sleep in the same bed, but that's not like hanging out. But then during the day, you have 8 hours or 9 hours with the people you work with, and you only get 2 or 3 in between things to really spend time with. That's where the vacation stuff, and you get the vacation. You guys even vacation with your workers. That's pretty cool. So that the community kind of thing going on there too. All right, great stuff, guys. These are some key things that I think help provide. We're trying to give tips for everybody out there on the planet to run a successful business and learn from pros, experts, directors, managers, general managers that do work that do this stuff to make it happen for everybody. Tell me, though, as we continue, because this is an important question I'd like to ask, what is the one thing that you would argue sets you guys' business apart? I'll start off with you this time. Greg,
I would probably say the 3 uniques that we were discussing.
Okay.
One, that we're never going to take any money up front or down payment, right?
All right.
We're going to work within the insurance company proceeds, so that allows people to not have to pay over their deductibles. And we have a strong commitment to using technology to help facilitate and make the process go smoother and faster for homeowners as well as us.
Yeah, there was a lot you said there, but the bottom line is you're ultimately staying in tune with everything that the customer needs, right?
I like to think so.
Yeah, obviously. And so those are. It seems like you wouldn't have a business if you didn't do that. But how many people out there just like running through the process and just trying to get things done, and they don't really actually pay attention to, hey, let me listen to what the customer's actually saying here, because I'd be telling them something very important that's going to make for a successful product for the end client. With that, Dustin, is that where this all fits? Tell me, expound upon that a little bit more about where you see this, how it fits.
I think probably a pretty big unique is our experience as an organization. So if you look closer, probably more gray in there. Gray coming in on gray coming in here. But over the years, we maintain licenses in 35 states, over 450 municipalities. We've had over 50,000 customers, and still maintaining those A+ business ratings. So we've seen this thousands and thousands and thousands of times. So the systems and processes that we set up to not only train and have someone become successful as a teammate, but from a customer standpoint, they're getting a very refined experience based on experience, real world experience, not theory, not philosophy.
Right.
It's like what works over all that amount of time. And I think it's just really hard to maintain or to achieve or attain that level of experience, either through building teams or taking care of that many customers on something as complex as like ripping off tens of thousands of pounds off your roof and then putting it back on and maintaining good ratings all the while you're doing that, So I think that's probably, I would imagine our experience has to be one of the distinguishing factors.
Yeah, so. Key to that experience is what a lot of people. How many years of experience? We talked about this a little bit, but is it 19 years? How far are we into this now? You guys have done this for.
DHI is a little older, but about 2010.
Right. Okay.
Is when all of the different brands. Yep.
Yeah, and just to maintain that. I mean, a lot to be said for a small business owner who starts as one location that he does well. But you guys have multiple locations and kind of multiple brands that you have across. How many different parts of the country?
35 states.
35 states that you guys touch, and wow, that's like, for anybody hasn't kept track, there's 50 states, everybody. 2 of them are remotely located, right? I've never been to Alaska. I have been to Hawaii, but that was a 10-hour flight, a long flight. So you're in what's that, 35 out of, it's almost 70%. It's 70, that is 70%. 35 times 2, 50 times 2. 70% of the states out there you guys represent, and you still maintain that high regard for what your customers are getting, because when you do the search to everybody, it showed A+, and that's across the board, and because those are things that you have to maintain. What is the mistake? I mean, we're talking about a house repair here, and these aren't like $75 fixes, right? You're starting at 3, 4, 5, 10 grand, and they go up to 100, 200, 500. What's the most expensive repair you guys have done? Probably in the millions, I'd imagine.
Yep.
Okay. What is the big mistake most people make? Start off with you on that, Dustin. I want Greg to finish up.
Yeah, I would say probably the biggest mistake is just not understanding who the contractor is that you end up selecting.
Okay.
And someone with our level of experience and having to maintain this professional background, pretty easy to pull up to a house and knock on a door and talk to you.
Right.
Anybody can do that.
Right.
Not anybody can have 14 years of the level of experience with over 50,000 customer reps, customer interactions and taking care of people. And unless you take a second to understand that, you could make a mistake there. And I would say from the other perspective, because right now we're growing in the St. Louis area, so I would say if you're out there and looking for jobs or looking for opportunities, we're hiring right now. And one of the mistakes I would say that customer, because we treat our teammates like customers also, we try to think of that way, is not selecting the right team to become a part of. So someone who's got that experience, again, that level of experience with that level of ratings, just a lot more wisdom. A lot of wisdom comes along with that through a lot of mistakes over the years and those type of things. But I think that would be just doing the research, understanding this is a reputable, very experienced organization to become a part of or apply to be a part of, or from a customer standpoint, the same, I'd say.
Okay, well said, and very important stuff that we cover there. And with that, Greg, finish it up for us. We got about 45 seconds.
That was very well said. Like I said earlier, I'd probably say the biggest mistake that I see homeowners make is not reaching out to, a qualified professional, and knowing who you're dealing with is a big part of that. But jumping the gun and filing claims before they know if they need to or not I think that's probably one of the biggest mistakes to make.
Yeah, we talked about
the other one I would say is potentially assuming your roof is okay.
Yeah.
Because the nature of hail damage, and there's a lot of hail in this area right now.
Right.
It doesn't leak immediately, and so if a representative from our company reaches out, or you might as well take the free inspection.
Sure.
Just to make sure. So.
Yeah, and those are key things, because as a expert, I wouldn't expect somebody. I can't walk on a roof and be like, oh yeah, well that damage was caused by this, and there's some more damage over there. There's stuff that, and as you're standing 30 feet away, usually most people don't get up on the roof to walk around and check these things out. You don't know what really has happened to this, so it's worth having an expert to come out there, spend a few minutes, and really observe what the real damage is, because if you don't get these things taken care of, then you're battling with the insurance companies.
Yep.
And
I'll piggyback off what he said, because I just had a conversation with a homeowner last night about how the areas that get the devastating hail, where holes are busted out in their siding, they can see it looks like a shotgun went to it, and their roofs are destroyed, their cars are banged up. Those are probably the people that I'm least concerned about, because they know to take immediate action. They know to call. They're going to have the insurance company out. They're going to call a contractor. They're going to do it quick, right? But when it comes to those that, I didn't think it wasn't that bad over here, or I didn't get it as bad as they did, or I don't think I have any damage, those are the ones that actually have the leak 3 years down the road that are now not covered by the insurance. So my biggest concern, and who I love bringing the most awareness to, are the ones that don't think they had the damage.
There you go. Well said. DHI. There it is. DHI Roofing, creating remarkable experiences. You're watching the Your Little Castle show. Giddy up.